Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome back to the Crypto Bully Bear channel, where we just have fun decoding and no financial advice. This is where I'm going to lay you out Lobster Part 3, and I'm going to just play parts from The Simpsons where I feel like they connected with the lobster.
The heck that was. Fritcoin was just rated the world's most stable financial instrument, beating gold, the renminbi, and roadside corn.
Well, can't eat no cryptocurrency when the grid go. Paraffin, castor oil, whalebone corset. Why I started my hedge fund. Another billionaire? How did he make his money? Paraffin?
So you see, it's another billionaire. And I just want you to see how this conversation starts. Burns just came into the scene. He's talking about, oh, another billionaire. Yes, you see Frank on the screen, and that's what they want you to concentrate on. But he says, oh, another billionaire. And then he says what? And then he says castor oil, paraffin. He's talking about commodities there, which could be to the lobster wallet, correct? If there's commodities on the lobster wallet. And then just keep that in the back of your mind while I play this out.
Castor oil? Whalebone corsets for the woman who dares?
Actually, cryptocurrency.
Oh, I know about cryptocurrency. I have it in my crypt.
No, sir. This is a new kind of digital currency based on blockchain.
Oh, I know all about blockchain.
Again, not what you're thinking. This new currency has made Professor Frink the richest man in Springfield.
Wait, are you saying I am no longer the richest man in town?
See how the CEOs and stuff like that used to be rich? It's probably got their assets taken. Just my vision.
To call me Monty just because you chew my food makes you think we're on a first-name basis?
Of course not, sir. I'll never do that again.
I will have my dinner now. Lobster thermidor. Start chewing.
But, sir, I'm allergic to shellfish.
And I'm not. Wayland.
So this right here just had me bugging out. He just pulled out a lobster out of nowhere, and he's going to make this guy eat it. Even though the guy said he didn't want to eat it, he was allergic to it, he still is going to feed him the lobster. So it's almost like when we talk to people and talk to some of our friends and our family members, and you would try to tell them about crypto and this and that, right? So maybe this also, you try to tell them about the lobster wallet, and they don't want to hear it because who's behind it? Trumpy Doodles, right? So Trump Doodles behind this thing, and a lot of people don't want to hear that shit. They start thinking that you're, you know, out of your mind, tinfoil hat wearing, whatever the case is. So, but Burns still makes him eat it, though. So it's almost like, you know, yeah, I know you don't want to eat it, but eat it anyway. You're going to, I guess, well, he didn't really like it. He was allergic to this one, but I don't know. That's just my vision on this take when I'm thinking about the lobster wallet, only because he started naming commodities after talking about billionaires. And this is a cryptocurrency episode, so I'm taking everything in here, literally, dealing with blockchain and cryptocurrency. So that's just my take on that little clip. Okay, now you see this part? This part looks like it's in front of a bank. Look at the clock tower. Remember Back to the Future? It kind of looks like it. Clock tower up here. Say the clock tower. You have the lions also. Just saying how these things connect. All right? Now watch. Now, if you watch that video, okay, if you watch those guys, Mel and Tim, and you heard them speak, or you heard anybody speak about Nassar Jassar, the Zims dollar and stuff like that, they were talking about templates and stuff like that, how you had to get some templates in order to participate in something humanitarian project. So I think you need something about templates. So that rang a bell to me. So when I seen this part, I was like, oh, this looks like a bank. And then this happened.
Marge is already taken? How about Marjorie?
Sorry, ma'am.
How about Mitzi?
You can have Nipsey.
Oh, oh, you know what that rhymes with?
I'm out of here.
Ladies.
So, now watch where Bart opens the door to.
Now, next lot.
Okay, we were talking about people getting their assets seized from them, right? And money and talking about those 3-letter governments, the IRSS, talking about them being, taken down. So, I mean, I came across this and I'm like, wow, this fits perfectly into the whole Nasara Jasara thing. And I want you to pay attention to the number that he's saying also, this guy. Watch Bart.
751. How much am I bid for item 751? 75.
So he's saying 751. He keeps saying that number, 751, 751. Now, just putting on my critical thinking hat, if I was to think that that number was a code, okay, I would say that that would probably telling me 7, then you have 5 minus 1 is 4, which you get 7-4, which we get July 4th. And if this is a reality type thing and they are going to bring power back to the people, then wouldn't it be a perfect day on July 4th to do that? I'm just saying, he's opening up the seizure door. Bart Simpson walks in. This guy's repeated himself about the number 751. I mean, that number there is for a reason. I don't know why they picked that number. You got to, everything is in here for a reason. Drawings, pictures. Remember, this is all animated. They had to draw everything in this picture. So anything you see in here, it's there for a reason.
Nothing. No bids for item 751.
$1.
I have a buck. I have $1, $1, $2, sold for $1.
Cool. What'd I buy?
35 Industry Way.
Those guy houses. Now, I remember in one of Trump's speech, he was talking, and he had mentioned something about factories, and it's funny because Bart just bought a factory here. I'm just saying, it's just a funny connection that Trump had said something about, bringing back the power, this and that, and he mentioned factories, and Bart just bought a factory after going into a door that said seize taxes and stuff like that. So yes, this also makes me feel, that the Nasara, Jasara thing is real, and that it should be happening. And when you hear Trump coming back talking about, it's time and stuff like that, you get excited, Not to say get your hopes up, but you just get excited when you hear these things. And when you look at these shows and you see things that resemble this, I mean, who knows? Or maybe I'm just a magical wizard and I can turn any cartoon or any show into any agenda I want to. Or unless these things, XRP and all this other stuff, they're the new system. They're not just a currency. They're not just, they're not even a security. I believe they're more than a currency. I believe they're a system. They're the new system. So yes, of course, it's in everywhere. And people are like, oh yeah, well you can, if it's really in your head and you're obsessed with it, then yes, everything you look at. And that can be a possibility. But there's also another possibility, if you open up your mind a little bit, that there can be messages in everything, in every movie, and probably every commercial, every TV show, every cartoon. There's some type of symbolism that was probably showing you what the new system was going to be. And that's why you can look at a lot of things and say, oh, that relates to XRP, that relates to Stellar. Because they're the new system. Believe what you want to believe. Go watch another channel if you don't like what you see. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and commenting. Just having fun, baby. We're just having fun. Or you could go watch those other guys about the lawsuit, because that shit is over with. But, they just have to string you along. And the perfect people to do that would be, people that have lawyer labels over them. Like Mr. Hogan. People like that. So when you listen to these things, you just get caught up and you just want to know, oh, when is this going to be over? When? Believe me, before you know that it's going to be over verbally, you're going to see the price jump. And that's when you're going to know that it's over already. Okay? Well, that's what you're going to know. They're going to let everybody know it's over. Okay? Before you hear about it, or before any other influencer tells you exactly when they're going to announce it, your price is going to pop. And that is going to be the official way to know that we're on our way. And that's it for this clip. This is Lobster 3. This is what I could show you. And we out of here. Actually, I'm back. I totally forgot, man. I totally forgot. I actually just want to make this a 3-part thing. So I'm going to finish this off here. This is another one over here. This is Lisa Gets an A, this one. Now, check it out. I believe, now, when you watch this, I believe that Homer is going to represent the IRS and the government. And the guy Grimes, funny enough, this guy also, you know, you watch Brad Grimes. Well, this guy over here, he's Frank Grimes. It's just funny how he just connects with something with cryptocurrency with his lobster wallet that connects with XLM. And he's a big influencer. So I'm not saying that that's about him. I just find it very funny. And then they called him Grimy. So let me just play it out over here. This is the same episode also that I was showing you with Bart Simpson. And he goes into that room with the sea stings. Because there's a lobster in this episode too. And that's why I related that to the lobster wallet.
Only have 5 lobsters. Are you sure he's not bringing anyone with him?
No. He doesn't know he's coming to dinner. I didn't think he'd come, so I called and said I had something really important to tell him, and that I could only tell him about it here. It's him! It's him!
Homer, calm down. Answer the door.
This Grimy is representing the people. Like us, regular Joes at work.
Welcome to the Simpson residence, or Casa de Simpson, as I call it.
Yeah, what did you want to see me about, Simpson? This better be important.
It is. But first, let me introduce you to my family. My perfect...
We'll just get to the part where he's
56.
talking.
See? And my son, Bart. He owns a factory downtown.
How do you...
Well,
look,
you just
Homer,
missed it.
I'm
He
late
said
for
my
the night
daughter with
job.
IQ
If you don't mind
5'6".
telling me.
So,
Good
just
heavens!
thought a date.
This is a palace.
Pay attention to.
How in the world can you afford to live in a house like this, Simpson?
I don't know. Don't ask me how the economy works.
Yeah, but look at the size of this place. I live in a single room above a bowling alley and below another bowling alley.
Almost like in the gutter.
I'm sorry, isn't that...
Yeah, that's me, all right.
So, see, he basically say he comes in here. He's like representing the people, right, Mr. Grimes? And he's like, yo, how can you afford all this stuff? You don't do anything. You watch the episode. It's Lisa Gets an A. Oh, I'm sorry. This is My Enemy. My Enemy. And you can check it out for yourself. So I'll just play this right here.
And the guy standing next to me is President Gerald Ford. And this is when I was on tour with the Smashing Pumpkins. Oh, and here's a picture of me in outer space.
You went into outer space. You.
Sure. You've never been? Would you like to see my Grammy Award?
No, I wouldn't. God, I've had to work hard every day of my life. And what do I have to show for it? This briefcase and this haircut. And what do you have to show for your lifetime of sloth and ignorance?
What?
Everything! A dream house, 2 cars, a beautiful wife, a son who owns a factory, fancy clothes, and lobsters for dinner.
See? And lobsters for dinner. So he's talking about like how, you know, he never got ahead of the game. He was always stuck on stupid. And, you know, and you have lobsters for dinner. And, you know, why do you get that? So, again, my vision. Okay? Don't care what you see. I'm telling you what I see. And this is what it is. Talking about lobster. He wants to get ahead of the game. He wants it a level playing field. You got everything. 2 cars, a beautiful wife, a son that owns a factory. You have it all. Because you have lobsters in your house. Could be the lobster wallet. You know? So, again, this part made me really think about that lobster wallet. And then when I went back and I started seeing the picture with Minuch, with the XLM and those wires hanging and that, you know, Stellar Labs, It looked like it was a sticker that was put on there. It was meant to be seen, but it was on the floor. You had to see it. Only eyes that can see. And that's what it is. So, I mean, like I said, you really have to... Lobster Wallet, I treat it as like a raffle, you know? A few XLMs at it, see what happens. Because, like, you know, one of the commenters on here, one of the viewers, he said, you can't get wrecked, you know, if you don't know what you're doing. And even myself, I might not even know what I'm doing either. I know that the lobster is legit. The domain names that you have to invest in, that's what you have to look into. So you really have to pay attention to that.
And do you deserve any of it? No!
What are you saying?
I'm saying you're what's wrong with America, Simpson. You coast through life, you do as little as possible, and you leech off decent, hard-working people, like me. If you lived in any other country in the world, you'd have starved to death long ago.
He's got you there, Dad.
You're a fraud. A total fraud.
Adding machines.
Okay.
Industrial waste.
This was the next scene.
What should we do with all this stuff, Bart? I think we both know the answer to that.
So it looks like, see how that old system, it looks like the old system and they're throwing it out. Okay? Right there to me, right after that scene, that guy leaves. He talks about, you know, not being fair. He had to work all his life. Then Bart goes into the factory that he owns with this guy. And he sees all these old typewriter type things with the old paper, which is probably Swift. To me, it's Swift. And they're throwing that out. You know? You got to ask yourself, like, they could have added anything into this factory. But they had to add that particular thing. Where is it in the corner? Where is it? There it is. To the hard left. On the bottom. This thing right down here. Oh, right down there. Okay? That's an old system. That's not even a computer. That's what you're typing with the paper roll. That's Swift. That's the old system is going into the waste. Goodbye. Ripple's coming to rip it up and cause a ripple effect. Okay? Bitcoin maxis, eat your heart out. That little chart that you've been looking at, that you thought that you only had 21 million Bitcoins and you were going to be a successful holder to like hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't think it's going to happen. The guy with the multiple supply is going to rise. It's going to surprise and shock the system. Because it is the effing system. Okay, this is toward the end of the episode right now. So the guy Grimes, he gets pissed off, right? Because Homer doesn't do anything and he's getting all this praise or whatever and promotion. So he goes berserk and he makes Homer go thinking that it's some type of a science project or whatever they're doing. But I want you to pay attention to the projects that they come out with over here, okay? Right here they're showing you the Cosmos sign. Okay, that's not Proton, that's... Well, it could be both, actually, because I see the 3 dots in there, but I also see that color of Proton. Right, but I want you to watch. Wiggins is going to come out. He's going to show you the dream house. Like, this is what I told you. This was also the lobster in this episode. So if you're in there, I'm not telling you to go everything in there. I'm just telling you why I like the lobster wallet. And when I watch these particular episodes, why I liked it more. Okay, not for you to go and jump into it and throw everything in it, but why I liked it and what they said. So watch Wiggum come out. And then after Wiggum, they're going to show you the dream house. The next guy that comes out, when you were listening to Mel and the other guy, Tim, they were talking about anti-gravity, right? Talking about these flying cars and all this, and Nikola plans. So I want you to pay attention to this. It's very important because it has to do with the lobster wallet, because they talked about the lobster in here.
Could make thousands of jobs like yours obsolete.
Our first little genius is Ralph Wiggum.
Hey, little genius. Up there says nuclear, yeah. Dream house.
Pretty good, sir.
Hot tub, media room. It's supposed to be a power plant, not Aunt Beulah's bordello. Thank you. Get out. Next.
So, that's why.
Ralphie, get off the stage, sweetheart.
Alright. Now, this is where I think they're talking about. Watch what he says. Looks like little baby Trumper.
The power plant of the future today.
sterile. Where's the heart?
But it really generates power. It's lighting this room.
Student says, it's lighting this room right now. Look at the pyramid. I knew the pyramids. That's another subject. I might have to start a different channel for that. Might come out with another channel, but not to lose contract on there. He's talking about powering up the room. And they were talking about, you know, the Nikolai's paperwork and the blueprints and about powering and anti-gravity and all this other craziness. I think the pyramids are here because they're here to protect us. That's why they're built the way they were built and why they were put in certain places where they were put, lined up perfectly around with the stars. But anyway, not to lose track, let's get back to the lobster wallet. Actually, there was these two, and Homer comes out, and he basically just has these two guys here. Hold on a second.
No.
You lose. Get off my property. Let's have the next child.
Look, everybody. Simpson's in a contest with children. Hey, shh. You're making us miss the contest.
That's it.
Children. Hey, shh. You're making us miss the contest.
Watch what he says here.
Explain your model, young man?
Wants to explain. He's an idiot.
Pipe down.
Pipe down. I wonder if they mean
Basically, I just copied the plant we
the
have
pipeline down.
Hmm.
Then I added some fins to lower wind resistance. And this racing stripe here, I feel is pretty
Oh, remember
sharp.
that track?
Agreed. First
And there goes that
prize.
red and green again. Those colors, red and green.
Way to go, Homer.
You're number one, Homer.
But this was a contest for children.
Yeah, and Homer beat their brains out.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that right there. Don't want to talk about that.